What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be trying to recreate the sounds of Perturbator and that dark synth, dark electro sound that's really popular today, just using Massive as our software synthesizer, a few plugins here and there, and some sampled instruments. So I'm going to be going into the detail of how to create every single one of these sounds and showing you how to use them in these dark wave synth compositions. Recreating this dark synthwave sound, there are four main elements you want to remember when creating this sound. 1, you want aggressive pulsing bass lines. 2, you want chorus heavy glassy synthesizers. 3, you want a lot of syncopation. And 4, you want a lot of side chaining to create that kind of compressor pumping effect. So as long as you remember those kind of 4 things, you'll have a pretty similar sound to that of dark electro and dark synthwave. So before I get into the sounds of this, I just want to remind you that if you click the link down below, you'll be able to download all of the Massive presets and all of the sampled sounds for free. All you have to do is just type in your email address and you'll have a free download, so you can use any of these synth sounds or kick drums in your project that you want. So go ahead and do that. That'd be awesome. And now let's get into the synth sounds that we have. What I'm going to pull up here is the pulsing bass, which is kind of the main driver of this song. I'll pull up the window right here and I'll play it for you real quick, solo it, and show you exactly what it's doing and how to incorporate it. All right, right off the bat, you can hear it's heavily sidechained by this compressor right here. H-Comp by Waves got the kick drum sidechaining it and quite a bit, and got an 1/8 note release on this thing to create a really nice groove and pumping effect when the drop finally comes in. So that's one thing to remember. Then to the actual synth itself, the main driver of this pulsing synth in Massive is the Performer tab right here. I have the waveform down here going to all 3 amp envelopes, or amps, sorry, for the oscillators, and that's kind of creating that pulsing effect, or that kind of rhythmic 16th note effect. I find that's the best way to do that within Massive. Using like a square wave to modulate that doesn't really work as well, so I find the Performer works really well for that. And then we have the same Performer tab modulating the cutoff frequency. Then we have a whole lot of drive to create that aggressiveness, and we have we have chorus right here to kind of create that sound. Not a whole lot, but if I take it off, you'll kind of hear the effect that it has on it to create that 80s horror synth sound. Big difference. Without the drive, it does sound pretty cool, but it's kind of not really the sound we're going for. If you're going for a more like chill wave, chill synth track, without the drive would be pretty nice, but for this kind of Perturbator sound, definitely wanted. All right, let's move on to the next synth sound. All right, next synth sound we have right here is a kind of glass synth inspired by the DX7. This synth is really reverb and chorus heavy, kind of to create a nice plucky sound. This is a pretty simple patch with just 2 oscillators, one up from an octave from the other, and just a little bit of detuning on them. No unison detune. Fairly simple. The envelope, very simple as well itself. I'll give you an example of what it sounds like. You just want to be able to create these really kind of like plucky sounds that are really reminiscent of the DX7. Fairly simple waveforms as well. Nothing too crazy here. Just keep in mind with the amount of chorus you put on it and reverb, and you just want to create a nice plucky effect. All right, the last synth we're going to focus on is a lead sound, which is inspired by the lead in Future Club by Perturbator. This lead is pretty much exactly like the one it was, just minus the synth sound. The synth sound's a little different, but the notes and the rhythm are pretty much the exact same. Really heavily syncopated, creates a really nice groove, and I'll show you how to get this really aggressive lead sound. I'll show you what it sounds like and then show you how to create it. really heavily detuned. Fairly simple how to get this sound though. You want to go into the voicing tab and turn the unison up to 5 and make sure the pitch cutoff is turned on, and detune it just ever so slightly, maybe to about like 10-20% up all the way, and that's kind of what really creates that kind of aggressive sound, I would say. I'll play it for you again with it and then with it off, and you'll notice a huge difference. All right, with it on, or off, sorry. Not as punchy, not as aggressive, doesn't really emphasize the notes as much. I would say that in creating aggressive sounding leads, this is almost like essential in doing so. Other things that are going on in this synth is that we have two different envelopes, one controlling the low pass and then another one controlling the amp. The amp, or the cutoff envelope, is a really quick decay with a really long release, and envelope number 4 is full sustain, full decay, and a really long release. This creates a really plucky sound, a little bit of resonance as well, and 3 oscillators all slightly detuned from each other, and a little bit of feedback on the amp. That's pretty much how you create this sound. Oh, and of course, don't forget some chorus and some drive on this synth. All right, moving on from the actual synth sounds themselves, we have all the sampled sounds, starting off with this white noise hit, which is sidechained by the kick drum. You'll hear the effect it gives. Super simple. All I'm doing is sending the kick drum to this compressor here, H-comp by waves, and have a 8th note release, really quick attack. Pretty much it's very heavily compressed and creates a quite significant pumping effect, which is really popular in just EDM electronic music today, to create this movement during the drop. Super popular, creates a whole lot of energy. Really recommend you use this all the time, or just try not to overdo it because it's almost overdone. Number 2 we have is the opposite of that, pretty much, is a reverse white noise to kind of create a riser effect. I'll play that for you. Super simple, nothing too special here. Just a white noise with a bit of a quicker decay and attack than the one before, and then reversed. And then I have a high pass filter being swept up to the drop to just create a little more energy and emphasis on the drop itself. Sound number 3, we have the kick drum sound. It's a kick drum generator from my Mother 32 with a little bit of distortion on it. It sounds pretty beefy, and in the context of the track, it works really well. And this is kind of what's sidechaining everything as well. Simple 4 on the floor kick pattern. Nice electronic kick drum there. Then the final sound we have here is a hi-hat, which is not really a hi-hat. It's just kind of a noise generator with a really quick decay, no release. And it kind of creates a syncopated rhythm. Adding delays on that and stuff like that would add a lot of groove into your tracks. So really something I recommend, creating simple hi-hat patterns, but then adding little delays on it, create nice rhythmic effects. That's pretty much, or that is all the elements that go into this short little track here. I'll play it back again as you heard in the intro, just so you can get a better understanding, since we've gone into detail of every single sound here. Play it back again. There is so much more we could do with this track to even bring out the qualities even more, But I think as a basis of creating this style of music, I think this is a really good start, and hopefully this gets you started and making your own dark synthwave tracks. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, the link will be down below for all the samples and synth presets in this video. So hopefully you check that out. Peace out, have a good day, and see you in the next video.